I would definitely cut it out.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
Woo! So a couple people asked us if we were going to do a spoiler review of Endgame, and we said, why not?
Yeah.
So we're going to do our spoiler review. Obviously, is major spoilers, so don't watch this if you have not seen Endgame. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so...
All right, go ahead.
Just saying, last 40 minutes was, like, amazing. And I love one thing I really liked is how they're able to pull off time travel without screwing up the whole series. Like, I feel like
Which is really hard to do.
Yeah, with Days of Future Past, I feel like they screwed up a little bit. Like,
yeah.
It was, like, really confusing. Yeah.
Sean, stop.
It was, like, kind of confusing at the end.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck?
All right, so wait. So I guess let's start off just overall impressions of the movie. What was your favorite parts?
I liked it when Cap caught Mjolnir. That was like my favorite part. And just,
best part ever.
Yeah, that was really good.
What do your impersonation of me when that was happening?
I need the shield for it. So he when he saw it, he went, oh, he was like, oh, and then he put his hand in his mouth and then went, started banging on his shield.
I was banging on my
like,
shield in the theater.
Yeah.
I was squealing very high.
Yeah.
Also, I really liked I really liked On Your Left when Sam said that.
Yeah.
Then the door
That was
opened.
so
That
awesome.
was good. Yeah.
And I love the music there.
Yeah.
I loved they saved Avengers Assemble for that moment.
I know.
Yeah.
Because, like, you definitely wanted it at the end of Age of Ultron, but, like, it was so smart of them to save it for that moment. Because it just could not get any more epic than, like all of them together. Like, it was just so good. And I mean, just Cap with Mjolnir was brilliant and awesome. And I have to think, I hope that was a bit of an homage to Force Awakens and maybe a little bit inspiration from Force Awakens when Rey gets the lightsaber, because it's a total fake out. Like, you think Thor's summoning it, but really it goes to Cap, but seeing him like bring the lightning on Thanos and just go after him is just like so awesome. It's just the best. The whole movie for me, that moment was like, if the movie was just that moment, it would have been worth it to me because I was just so into that moment.
Yeah. I think for me, my favorite part is either the On Your Left moment, that moment, or one of my other favorites. I really like the part where Thor, Cap, and Iron Man, and like Thor has like the two hammers and stuff, and they're like walking up to Thanos. I love that entire fight because like I feel like a lot of people thought that. Because, like, in the comics, Thanos is the most powerful being in the universe, and without the gauntlet, with or without. And basically, I feel like they really did a good job showing that in this one, because it was like, I mean, they mentioned it in Guardians, like, that he's the most powerful being in the universe.
Right.
But, like, in this one where he had no gauntlet, and he was able to, like, almost destroy all of them.
Yeah. So what did you guys think of Fat Thor?
That was interesting. Like, same thing with Professor Hulk. I don't hope it stays the same. Like,
okay.
The thing with Professor Hulk is I really like the other Hulk better. Just like normal Hulk. Rather than that. Yeah. And same thing with Fat Thor. I really hope he turns into that epic like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked it. Like I thought it was such a huge gamble to do that with those two characters because it's like your most OP guys.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like, and it's totally unexpected. Like, you would not think after Infinity War that's the direction they would go with it. And like, so like I was just impressed with like the amount of guts it took to make a choice like that, to make like a gamble like that. And I mean, for me, the humor of that scenario helped bring some levity to a really dark, because like losing half the universe, it's very hard, and even the way the movie opens is so sad, and so heavy. So I felt like it almost needed those guys to be funny like that to help balance it out. I don't think they'll stay that way, but I thought it was such a huge risk, but I thought it really.
I really liked it. Like I feel like. sure, people do complain about it, like with like Professor Hulk, like not being like as strong as Hulk, but also not being like exactly Banner. So like I personally I like it though. I feel like it's like
it was cool.
It's cool because like just seeing Hulk be like crazy stupid monster or like a scientist is like, it does get old because we do have other characters that are similar to two halves of Hulk. So I think having like his own unique character, where both of them are combined into one, I think that brings something fresh to the series.
Yeah.
So I really like
totally.
that.
Yeah, because like there's a part of you that wants to see them be the way you love seeing them be, but then it was cool to see them get to do something new and something fresh. So I really liked that. I thought it was awesome.
Mentioning the Hawkeye beginning scene, one thing that's interesting is that basically throughout the whole MCU, when he calls his daughter Hawkeye, that's the first time you ever hear Hawkeye being said in the movies.
Oh, wow.
They say Hawk in Avengers.
Okay.
But they never said Hawkeye.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, but is she going to be Hawkeye? Like, are they going to...
I don't know.
They could definitely do that.
Yeah, I feel like that would be interesting. But, I mean, he still has life in him.
Yeah. Did you guys cry at all?
First time, no. Second time, yes.
You did?
Yeah, second time because I feel like this is like the biggest project ever. There's like 22 movies leading up to this, or like 22 movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I cried during when his kids, when Hawkeye's kids disappear in the beginning.
Yeah.
That was awful. And then I cried during Tony's funeral.
Yeah.
And just the whole "I love you 3000" thing, just like totally slayed me.
Yeah, for me it was only for Iron Man's death and like that part I shed a couple tears, but it's like everything else, it's like everyone has been kind of theorizing about, so you kind of saw some of these things coming. So like, I mean, it doesn't take you out of the immersion of the movie, but it just makes it doesn't hit as hard as if that was unexpected.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though Iron Man's death was unexpected, since he's like the first character to be in the MCU, it still has like that toll, So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like I'm so impressed that they were able to stick the landing on, 21 movies and give you a satisfying ending, which is so amazing to me.
And like, I feel like 3 hours did not feel like 3 hours
at all.
Like, I mean, like second time through, I did not go to the bathroom before. And I saw like my friend who hasn't seen it yet talk to me about, and then he was like trying to like go through the game plan with me when he does see it. Is like, so like I saw a thing online. It's like when Hulk is eating lunch, go to the bathroom.
I know, because I like when he's like doing the stuff with the thing.
I told him like that's the most funny part. I was like, that's really funny, and then like.
I also loved. I loved all the stuff that Cap's my favorite character. So to see all the stuff Cap got to do in this one, like when they're in New York. And he gets in the elevator.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna do that scene
so
again.
Brilliant, but like I love how they played with our expectations with that, and just like it was so great.
And I like how they used like how he used himself to fight himself.
Yes, that was so good.
Like,
it's like I could do this all day. I know.
Yeah, and it's
so
just
good.
Like, Bucky is alive.
All right. So was there anything that maybe you wanted to see but didn't see, or things that you were hoping they would do that they didn't do?
Well, Mistress Death, I would have liked.
Whose death?
Mistress Death is, the whole reason.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes,
but,
yes.
Like his old goal, in, like the comics, was his second goal in this movie, which I found pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
But like, I feel like that was kind of like a throwy back, but I feel like they could have at least replaced it with Hela or something like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think. I remember us talking about that. Like I thought we kind of thought maybe Hela would take the place of Death, and
one thing that I mean, it wasn't something that I wished happened, but something that got me a little nervous was when Thanos was talking about shredding the universe. I thought they were gonna do a reboot.
Yeah.
There, and I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, that would have been
Thanos
interesting.
gonna win, and
Again.
then they're gonna reboot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that'd be like a really dark way to end it, but it's a way to restart it. So I mean,
I got
don't know.
sucked in at that moment. I was like, are they gonna do this again? Like, yeah. When he had the gauntlet on,
Yeah.
It's a teeny tiny thing, but the only thing I wanted more explanation on was, I still don't totally get why Hulk didn't come out during Infinity War. Like, I get that they're both competing to be in control, but it just felt like in life or death situations, why would Hulk not come out? I liked that the whole Professor Hulk thing.
Yeah.
But I wish we would have had an explanation of why he was hiding, because I thought maybe it was because he was afraid of Thanos, and I just wanted more of a talk through of that, or a line or something.
Yeah.
But I like that he's this new character. I thought that was very cool. All right, and then so now my only this is changing topics, but like with like what theories do you have about how it ended or how they might go forward?
What was it? At the end, the Guardians are. Like we had a talk about how when Iron Man snapped, I mean, we never knew what his wish was.
Right, what the conditions of the snap were.
Like, was it to, like, change everything back, kind of like Adam Warlock in the comics, or was it, like, complete, like, just, like, eliminate the other side and like, close that thing? And if that is, maybe that's... Maybe, because you don't see Gamora with the Guardians at the end, so we were talking about, like, what if the snap included Gamora unknowingly?
Right. And one of my friends was trying to say that Tony committed, like, genocide, and, like, his snap was to kill all Chitauri. But I don't necessarily think that's true.
I don't know.
Like, maybe, because, like, I think he was just snapping, like, Thanos and his allies, is what I think.
Yeah, same.
Which might include some Chitauri, but I don't know if, like, every single Chitauri
I don't think he would be, like, trying to, like, kill... Well, but the thing is, with, like, his Ultron vision, he already brought it up in the beginning of the movie about putting this suit of armor around the world.
Right.
But if there's, like, no threat, then he's kind of safe, you know? Like, I mean, like, maybe... Since the Chitauri were an army of Thanos and they were, like, loyal to Thanos, same as, like, Sakaran and Outriders, he could have done that. But, like... I feel like it would only be allies of Thanos, so if there are Chitauri that aren't allies of Thanos, then it's possible, but I think all of them were. So.
So now, and then we were kind of talking about this before, but maybe we just talk it out again, though. Like, do you guys think Gamora is gone? Because
I think because they closed the time travel thing, the time travel Gamora wouldn't be back, and the Soul Stone wouldn't come back either.
Right, because as soon as they put the Power Stone back on Morag, then everything in there, like, all those events would still happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because then Nebula wouldn't bring them through the time portal to 2019.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So we think Gamora's gone. So the only, like, lingering thing for me is I loved Cap's ending.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was perfect, like, emotionally to see him with Peggy, and I love that. So I don't want to take that away. But I do want, like, some explanation as to how that affected or did not affect the timeline. Because if he does marry Peggy, right?
Yeah.
And he's living in the past, if he's out in the open, that undoes everything in the MCU. Because, like, S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't necessarily get formed, potentially.
Yeah.
They don't find Cap, they don't find the time stone, they don't, like, there's so many things that if Cap exists in the past.
But, like, the thing I think we can answer that is, like, they talked about when you go back and change your past doesn't change the future, just like how Nebula killed her old self, which is like, wouldn't she die?
Right. And I buy into that, but then the trick for me is that if Steve Rogers appears in the future and gives Falcon the shield, then that means that he is existing on the old timeline. You know what I mean? Like, I think if he did branch off, it wouldn't affect the future he's from, but how does he get back to that future? As I guess.
So I think the way they explained it is that time is linear in a way. So if what's it? So, you have your time stone, space stone, whatever. I think the time stone is the one that, like, mainly contributes to time being linear, using, like, that, the Sorcerer Supreme looking at all the timelines. So, I think they just find a route for time to flow into.
Mm-hmm.
So technically they could go back and go a different path, but I don't think that that's what he did. I think that he's meant to be with her, so like it's like not something that's like changing what's like or altering a course of like their timeline. Because like let's say they were to bring Thanos back, that would alter their timeline. But if like he just goes back and lives with Peggy, like that's not going to like destroy.
Well, if he does it in secret, because I think we talked about this before. Like if he, because they never actually said who Peggy marries. They said that she marries someone that Captain Rogers saved. You know, Winter Soldier. There's the documentary footage. So if it's like that was always a cover up, like that maybe that's what they told the public.
Yeah.
But really, it was Steve Rogers from the future. Then they could kind of live in secret in a way.
Yeah.
And he could never, like, he could be her husband, but not say he's Captain America.
Yeah.
That would be a satisfying way for me, for him to have his cake and eat it too. Because then he gets to be with Peggy, and he'll know that everything's going to work out. Kind of the way that Doctor Strange has to allow all this bad stuff to happen in order to get to the one way.
Yeah.
Steve might have to just let Hydra take over S.H.I.E.L.D., let bad things happen that he knows he could stop, but he's going to let it happen because he knows in the future it's going to work out, type of thing. You know, so like that would be one way to handle it. Or I think it's maybe he does go off on a branch and has the alternate reality where he's with Peggy, but then he time jumps to the new. But I
like the one where it's like secret. To capture
like,
the timeline.
But honestly, I want like the directors or writers to say definitively what it is. Because I do feel like I need that answer. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
You know? What were you going to say?
Well, I mean, I think, like, if you look at things like, well, let's say he does go back in time and live it out to that point. So there would be two Captain Americas for a little bit. But once he goes back in time, that kind of, like, eliminates the younger Cap and puts him back. So it would, like, it's a little bit of a time paradox thing. But technically it's like it's fine, you know.
Well, I think the way that Marvel's dealing with time travel though, I don't think it would erase the younger Cap. I think both would exist.
It wouldn't erase him. What I'm saying is that it didn't branch off because well, I mean, you know, the thing was meant to be, but I think it doesn't branch off because of the fact that like everything else is in order. So like
I guess, yeah.
So it's like, I mean,
but it just seems like if
I don't
Peggy
know, it's like,
it just seems like so because I'm not saying that young Cap would get erased, but I'm saying like if he married Peggy and everyone knew, hey, that's Steve Rogers, they wouldn't look for him, or maybe they would still find the Tesseract at the bottom of the ocean and then bump into this other one, maybe.
Yeah.
But then it just seems like
he definitely did it in secret, if like living with Peggy. But well, I mean, I don't know. I guess like there's just like.
It just seems like at a certain point they would have to explain why both of them are there.
Yeah.
And that would seem to alter the timeline in some way, I would think.
Well, wait, why both of who are there? Like
so, like if old Cap is in the 50s or the late 40s, and then in what 2011 they find young Cap at the bottom of the ocean, you would think at some point Fury or somebody that was around in the old days of S.H.I.E.L.D. would say, wait, then who's this guy saying he was Steve Rogers? You know what I mean?
Well, he probably is not saying he's Steve Rogers.
Right, that's our theory. Our theory. Yeah, but I want the writers of the director to say something definitive. But so that's but I still want that ending. Like I don't not want him to have that because that was such a great emotional moment for him to be with Peggy and I saw this thing on Collider where they were talking about how it's this idea that like your good deeds are rewarded, you know, and I thought that was a cool, like you can live a good life and good things happen to you. I like that, you know. And he deserves it, you know.
One thing I notice is like a lot of times it makes sense, but like a lot of times the comics are a lot crazier than the movie because like the Infinity Gauntlet was obviously nerfed in the movie because like the snap was a metaphor for how easy it is in the comics to wipe out that many people. In the movie, it seemed like that was how you do it. And it's like, I mean, it makes sense. It was cool seeing that scene where they all had like catch his hand and like make sure he does not snap and stuff.
And he headbutts Captain Marvel, and she's like, "What?"
That
sounds so cool.
She's just like, and then
it's like, All right, so last thing. Where do they go from here, or where do you want them to go from here? Because, like, I was talking with my friend today. It's like, how could you ever top this movie?
Yeah,
like,
they're not going to top it, but they can move on with other good movies. But, like, Adam Warlock is set up at the end of Volume 2.
And you think Thor will be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3?
Yeah, I think so, because he's hitching a ride.
Yeah,
and
I hope so.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping for where Guardians goes, maybe, like, Guardians 3, maybe their first quest is looking for Gamora because they really don't know what happened.
I don't want them to do that though if she's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you should only do that if they're going to find a way to bring her back.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I kind of want them to do, but I don't know how.
I don't know how either, but like, what was it? I'm wondering. And also, one thing I'm curious about is I want to see a Cap movie, like a Cap movie of just like the quest of putting the stones back, because he had the encounter Red Skull.
Yeah. Yes, no, I was totally thinking that. Like, it would be so cool to see that as a TV show on Disney Plus or a movie of him returning the stones. Absolutely, I would love that.
I want to know why exactly is Red Skull chosen to defend that? What if it's like when someone gets a Soul Stone, he is set free?
Ooh.
And what if that starts a new rivalry against Red Skull and Cap? That it's like he put him back in that prison when he returned the Soul Stone.
That would be cool.
I don't know, because it's like, why would you stay there?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know his motive to stay
And also,
there.
like, when Steve doesn't come back right away, there's a look on Bucky's face that makes me think that Bucky knows something.
Yeah, I think Cap talked about it with people.
Yeah, and I want to know that part of the story, because like it feels like, because even when he's telling Sam like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Like there's a very like he seems to like know something. And he's not like shocked by it. It doesn't seem like
come on, bro.
Yeah, it's like it seems more like he's like. So I almost feel like maybe there was a slight alteration in the timeline, and in that moment, you know, Bucky all of a sudden gets the memory of something that Cap said to him in the past, or I don't know. It just it just seems like there's a maybe it's just him watching Cap walk to the bench or something, but they're just all of a sudden there was a weird look on his face, and it just seemed like. He seemed like too wise in that moment. He's like, I don't know why he told Sam to go forward instead of them both going forward, or I don't know. Like, it just seemed like
because I think if Bucky knows what's going on and Sam is like freaking out, he's like, hey, look over there, like go on, like
I know,
he's like right there.
Yeah,
I think he might have known that like Captain America wanted to give the shield to Sam.
Yeah, maybe it's like what you talked about. Like maybe before he left, he told Bucky what he was going to do.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That could be it. Is that maybe like before he even with the whole conversation about you're taking all the stupid with you?
Yeah.
Like maybe he told him his plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live with Peggy if something goes wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Oh man. Well, yeah. So I'm excited. Do you want to see another Avengers movie, or do you just want to see solo
I think
movies?
Avengers are done. Honestly, I
Really?
think they will continue on with the Guardian. Well, I think they're gonna do this last Guardians movie. James Gunn said something about this being the last for this Guardians, but with the original comic Guardians, like with Starhawk and Charlie 21, like all those guys. And I would like to see Vance Astro.
I don't even know who that is. Is that the blue guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cap Shield. That would be interesting.
That'd be cool.
I would like to see some movies with them. Solo movies, and we know there's going to be a Cap and Bucky series. I mean,
yes, and I hope it's now Cap,
Sam,
but I hope it's a Cap and Bucky with Falcon.
Sam,
I'd be into that. And like, I think it'd be cool if they do bring the X-Men in.
Yeah.
To maybe build up to another epic event like X-Men versus Avengers, but I don't like when the heroes fight each other. I'd rather them fight somebody big.
I think it's not that the Avengers are disbanded, but like I think there's like it's not there's like not a need for like the Avengers. Like I think as of now it's just gonna be friendly neighborhood type stuff with like Black Panther, Spider-Man.
What if the next big event is like the original Secret Wars?
I would be into that.
Because I love that. And like the thing with that is they could do part 1 and part 2, like Endgame and Infinity War. Because if you look at, I have the full like comic in one giant thing. It's like that big.
Oh wow!
And it's like a very good.
Yeah.
I liked it, and it was like they could definitely set that up as their next one. And I mean, you could use the Avengers still remaining, even though the Avengers were in that one. But
right. I'm nervous about how they're going to handle X-Men, which I shouldn't be because they've done amazing with everything they've done so far. But like, I just feel like it feels like in the same way that Captain America needs to be in the time period of World War II for his story, I feel like X-Men have to be in the 60s because of the whole civil rights parallels.
Yeah.
But how do they address that since they've covered that time period and we haven't seen a mutant in all that time?
Maybe they do with Captain Marvel, or they just... I don't know.
Well,
I mean, maybe they're in hiding because they're persecuted.
Well,
maybe.
Here's one thing. You know, X-Force, how they're like a secret operative version of X-Men.
Yeah.
What if they do that in the '60s timeline? Then they come out as superheroes once, like they see like Captain America and the Avengers. They're like, so these guys are actually like not being like persecuted for their powers.
Yeah.
So we can go with them. But the one thing that will be weird is like Scarlet Witch not being a mutant.
I know.
Mutants, like,
it'll be interesting how they deal with it.
Oh, I just thought of something. So what if, you know how Scarlet Witch got her powers from the stones? What if when Thanos snapped, people got mutant abilities because of the power surge? I think that they could play it off some way like that.
That could be interesting.
So like
that could be very interesting.
Yeah. So or maybe some of the people who were snapped away came back different.
Ooh, I like that.
So maybe wherever
like
they
how
got
the quantum
set.
realm, when the people went into the quantum realm, they like Ant-Man, the old Wasp.
Yeah.
Different, like, mutated,
Oh yeah, the Ghost Girl, right?
Yeah.
Like her phasing
Ghost
thing.
And
also how she was able to like heal.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be cool.
So I think there's gonna be some things like that where it's like.
Or I'd be okay if like maybe the quantum realm allows us to explore some of the other branches, and then that could be like you could. Oh, the light just turned off. You could like explore like alternate universes and then blending them. Like maybe there's an alternate branch universe where X-Men have developed.
Yeah.
And now somehow those like the MCU that we know and the branch universe come together. I don't know.
Yeah, because I mean they could do things where like I think it was Molecule Man combined the Ultimate Universe with I think 616. I forget what universe. But yeah, there's two universes that did collide into one.
That's cool.
So I think they could definitely do that.
All right. Well, Endgame was awesome.
Yeah.
We loved it. Hopefully, can't wait for Far From Home.
Yeah.
All right. Peace. Dun, 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 dun.
What do you mean? It wasn't filming the whole time.
Imagine.